Welcome back to Checkpoint. I'm Matthew Yep.
I'm Nolan Leahy.
Alright, gang. As I'm sure many of you know, the Nintendo Switch is coming to us very, very soon. March 3rd, in fact. With that date fast approaching, we are getting more and more information for the games being released for the system. One particular bit of news that I find particularly exciting is the new details about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For the first time in the series' 30-year span, Nintendo has announced that they will be releasing DLC for the game after its release. According to Nintendo's website, players will be able to buy an expansion pass for $20 in order to get access to 2 new sets of downloadable content, which is pretty dope.
Sounds pretty fantastic to me.
Also, if you don't plan on buying the Switch, you can still get an expansion for the Wii U, which is doper. One of these content packs released in the summer will feature a new Cave of Trials, a harder game mode, and new map features. The other pack will be released during the holiday season and will contain new dungeons and a full new original story. Also, for those of you Legend of Zelda fans who prefer the 2D games over the 3D ones, you might be in luck. In an interview with Game Informer, series producer Eiji Aonuma said that a new 2D game on the Switch is a definite possibility, and that the current 2D team is being encouraged to see what they can bring to the table for the Switch. So yeah, it's a pretty great day to be a Zelda fan.
A great day indeed. Many whispers have been floating around concerning the next iPhone, but what we do know is that Apple made a deal with Samsung and ordered 160 million OLED panels.
Whoa.
Other speculations include the device to be completely covered in glass in exchange of a wireless charging feature.
Cool.
Now, in terms of packaging, it is still unsure what the base product will be for the device in terms of exact specs and hardware capabilities. The Korean Herald claims that the industry sources may have anticipated that the next iPhone will have a variety of deals where the OLED iPhones would be amongst the top tier packages. So we may not exactly be shoved into that $1,000 price range just yet.
Thank goodness. Now, as I'm sure many of you have noticed, we are living in a constant state of panic and fear and terror. That might just be me, though. Still, either way, in our modern world, we are facing a new issue of digital warfare, which is why recently Microsoft has called for a Digital Geneva Convention. For those of you who don't know, the Geneva Convention was a series of treaties made after World War II, more or less setting guidelines for war. And Microsoft believes that we need to lay down these rules concerning cyber attacks. In a recent presentation at a computer security conference, Microsoft's president Brad Smith said, let's face it, cyberspace is the new battlefield, bringing up examples such as North Korea's hacking of Sony back in 2014 and the 2016 Russian involvement in the US election. The internet is a new way for governments to attack citizens, companies, and entire nations. Smith went on to say, we need a digital Geneva Convention that will commit governments to implement the norms needed to protect civilians on the internet in times of peace. On the Microsoft blog, they posted some rough guidelines as to what they thought this treaty should look like, specifically asking leaders such as Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin to ban state hacking of civilians. Smith also wanted tech companies to be neutral when it comes to countries going to battle online, saying that they must be 100% defense and 0% offense. Hopefully some good comes out of this call to action, but only time will tell.
Hopefully it ends well. It was announced on the Steam Community Forum last Friday that Steam Direct will replace the Steam Greenlight service.
Ooh.
Greenlight is a distribution model that had the community vote on which games got uploaded and which became available through the PC Gaming Digital Store. There was also some criticism following Greenlight that made indie game developers claim that it was more about luck than it is about having a proper marketing strategy, or how it's inspired practices such as giving free copies of a game in exchange for upvotes in hope of being greenlit. Sounds pretty sketchy if you ask me.
Yeah, pretty shady.
Thankfully, Steam Direct hopes to address these problems. What the Direct format does is essentially establish a new Direct sign-up system for developers to put their games on Steam. Direct will require the developer to fill out financial paperwork and pay a publishing fee, which is still being debated amongst Valve, stating that the fees range is in debate from $100 to $5,000.
Oh God.
For indie devs, I think that $5,000 is just way too much dinero for most of the indie games themselves. Steam Direct will release sometime within this coming spring season, and hopefully Steam Direct will improve the online shopping experience for both parties through discoverability on developers and pricing for some of the consumer catalog.
I'm excited to see how that turns out. That's all we have for this week. For all your media, tech, and entertainment news, be sure to subscribe to Byte BSU and stay up to date with us on Checkpoint.
Do you need help?
Subscribe.
I've screwed up so much tonight, I don't blame you.
Sub.
You're getting the disease.